Good morning to Château de Razac followers. I'm outside the chateau. Charlton and I are here for a few weeks, and the last time, well, just after the last time we were here, we were sent a photograph, or it was a postcard of the chateau. What the photograph or postcard showed us was that there was indeed a structure on this elevation of the chateau. Now you can see the demarcation line on the render, which is where a previous glass house was attached in this area here. And it's something that I've always thought to myself, oh, I'd like the chateau. It was the only thing that the chateau was missing in my mind. We've got the fresh water, we've got the rivers, we've got the outbuildings, we've got the farm complex, we've got the traditional driveway, we've got the big trees. The only thing that we don't have on site is a glass house. And I always thought that potentially we could put something back here. This line always kind of irritated me a little bit, thinking that there was potentially a structure. Anyway, that's been confirmed now. So one of the things that we're going to do is submit a planning application for a very similar design to reconstruct that structure in a very sympathetic way, which means that all my internal plants will have somewhere over winter, and we can probably have it as a breakfast room, and with access to the outside terrace. If we go into the kitchen, and we just alter this, and come through to the dining room, we can visibly see, and this was another little hint, we've got this large door here in the corner, which used to be the access into the Orangery. So that's something that's very simple for us to recreate. One thing that we do have here is this picture window above the fireplace. And this was a way, it was a sign, it was a very kind of subtle way of showing the financial status of the owner of this place. For a simple reason, usually you would have your fireplace and you would have your chimney above. This is called an offset chimney, where the chimney is actually in this area here. And it was kind of complicated to do back in the days when the chateau was built, and it needed a lot of money and some design work. So it's interesting that behind this glass would have been also a glass house at some point. So I'm sure the glass house was a later extension or add-on to the chateau, because this picture window was definitely designed to enable to look through into the gardens. But with this doorway here, which has been used as a cupboard for however long, we can see that it's pretty large, and we can definitely get that recreated so that we have an access from the dining room into the Orangery. So if we walk through here and go into the Bibliothèque, you can see there's a strong contrast in colour and tone here, with the timbers being stained rather than painted. It's a much darker but cozier room, and then you get the light pouring in from the picture window, and it does travel straight through into here. I understand that this room was very much used more as a snug and as a place where the family, when they were resident here, they would use this as their kind of smaller living space, and then they had the Grand Salon for entertaining. This is the hallway. I'm not going too far today, but and then you can see here again a darker room, but you can imagine the fires being lit in here, and it would really set the scene. This room, again, originally would have been 2 rooms. I think you can probably see that there would have been openings into the service corridor, and at some point someone has altered this space to be one room. This is the oldest part of the chateau, so probably when we've had the additions added to it, they wanted a formal living room, and that's what they've created here. There used to be big curtains. We've seen pictures of this, how they used to draw the two rooms and make them separate, or have them as one living space. And then we go up a couple of stairs here, and to the right takes us to the service corridor, and to the left takes us into the square tower at the front of the chateau, which again could either be a principal bedroom. We think it was a principal bedroom, although I have the idea that I would like to be on the other side of the chateau when I eventually live here, and this could also be another living room, basically. Although it definitely was a bedroom at some point. And then we come back through here. So this is where the new roof is going this year. So it'll be good for this place for a simple reason. There has been some water ingress, particularly at the back. So we'll see how that progresses over the next few months. And we can see here, before the library was put in, or part of the library, there was an access door here going into the service corridor. So it just meant that the housekeepers could access each room individually without actually disturbing or going through room by room. I can't wait to see this set up as a dining room and having people on the terrace for breakfast. It is a beautiful room. And then back into the kitchen. So we've got some more information about this room as well. So this area used to be blocked up and there was a doorway. This was the children's dining area, and it was only when they turned 10 years of age that they were allowed to come and eat with the adults. So that's quite interesting. And they wouldn't be allowed into the front section of the chateau. They would access through the corridor here, and then access the the library area through the hallway rather than coming into the dining room. So this is the service corridor here. We won't go all the way down today, but it just gives you a little understanding of the chateau itself. And this was the old office, where there's a little hatch and the staff would get paid through the hatch. And this was an old photograph of the land of Razac, which sadly has got damaged, but we do have a digital copy of it, so we will recreate that at some point. We've got the smaller kitchen here, which then leads on to the main kitchen. We've got the old oven here. This needs to be removed. This is something that I'd like to try and reinstate, probably with an alternative fire, log burner, cum cooker at some point. Probably a bit like what we're going to be installing in the manoir. Okay, Flynn, let's go. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit, and there we are. I'll try to put a photo of the Glasshouse in as well, so you can see what we'll aim to recreate on the east elevation.